For years, the world saw Gypsy Rose Blanchard as a sick child fighting impossible odds. She used a wheelchair. She underwent countless medical procedures. She appeared at charity events. And alongside her every step of the way was her devoted mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. Together, they became a symbol of hope. But behind closed doors, nothing was what it seemed. Because according to investigators, Gypsy wasn't sick at all. And the truth behind their relationship would eventually lead to a crime that shocked the world. This is the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a young woman trapped in a life built on lies. Dee Dee Blanchard told doctors, friends, and family that her daughter suffered from a long list of serious illnesses. She claimed Gypsy had leukemia, muscular dystrophy, severe asthma, epilepsy, and developmental delays. As a result, Gypsy spent much of her childhood in hospitals and doctors' offices. She used a wheelchair in public. She underwent surgeries and took medications prescribed for conditions she may not have had. Communities rallied around them. Charities donated money. Organizations helped provide housing and family trips. To outsiders, Dee Dee appeared to be a caring mother doing everything possible for her sick daughter. But over time, questions began to emerge, because some things simply didn't add up. As Gypsy grew older, she started noticing inconsistencies in her mother's stories. She realized she could walk. She questioned why she needed certain medications, and she began to suspect that the life she had been living wasn't real. Investigators would later allege that Dee Dee had been exaggerating and fabricating illnesses for years. Experts believe Dee Dee may have suffered from a condition known as Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a disorder in which a caregiver exaggerates or causes illness in someone under their care in order to gain attention or sympathy. Gypsy later said she felt trapped, controlled, isolated from the outside world. Her mother managed every aspect of her life, including her medical care, friendships, and access to information. As the years passed, Gypsy became desperate for freedom. Eventually, Gypsy found a way to connect with people online. That's when she met Nicholas Godejohn. The two quickly formed a relationship. Over time, they began discussing a future together. A future where Gypsy could finally escape her mother's control. But according to investigators, those conversations took a dark turn. Prosecutors later alleged that Gypsy and Nicholas planned to kill Dee Dee. It was a decision that would change their lives forever. And on June 14, 2015, everything changed. Eventually, Gypsy found a way to connect with people online. That's when she met Nicholas Godejohn. The two quickly formed a relationship. Over time, they began discussing a future together. A future where Gypsy could finally escape her mother's control. But according to investigators, those conversations took a dark turn. Prosecutors later alleged that Gypsy and Nicholas planned to kill Dee Dee. It was a decision that would change their lives forever. And on June 14, 2015, everything changed. When friends and family members couldn't reach Dee Dee, concern quickly spread. Then a disturbing message appeared on the family's shared social media account. Authorities were contacted. What investigators discovered shocked the community. Dee Dee Blanchard had been found dead inside her home. But perhaps even more surprising was the fact that Gypsy was missing. At first, many feared she had been abducted. Given everything they believed about her medical condition, people worried she might not survive without immediate care. But as investigators searched for answers, they uncovered a truth nobody expected. Gypsy could walk. And the story everyone had believed for years was beginning to unravel. As detectives pieced together the evidence, they uncovered years of deception. Medical records, witness statements, online messages. Everything pointed toward a complicated and deeply troubling relationship between mother and daughter. Investigators eventually located Gypsy and Nicholas in Wisconsin. Both were arrested. As details of the case became public, the story captured national attention. People struggled to understand how someone who appeared to be a victim could also be involved in such a serious crime. The case sparked intense debate. Was Gypsy a victim, a criminal, or both? Gypsy Rose Blanchard pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to prison. Nicholas Godejohn was later found guilty of first-degree murder and received a life sentence. The case reignited conversations about medical abuse, coercive control, and the hidden damage caused by years of manipulation. Many experts pointed out that the warning signs had been missed for years. And for many people, the story became a reminder that abuse doesn't always leave visible scars. Sometimes it hides behind sympathy, sometimes it hides behind good intentions, and sometimes it hides in plain. The story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard is difficult because it refuses to fit into simple categories. It is a story about deception, control, trauma, and the devastating consequences that can follow years of abuse. For everyone involved, there are no easy answers, only difficult questions. And perhaps that's why this case continues to fascinate people around the world, because it forces us to ask how something so complex could remain hidden for so long, and whether the truth could have been discovered before it was too late. For years, the world saw Gypsy Rose Blanchard as a victim, a young woman trapped by illness, dependent on her mother for survival. But the truth was far more complicated. Behind the headlines was a story of manipulation, isolation, and a lifetime of lies. A story that challenges the way we think about victims, responsibility, and the hidden forms abuse can take. For everyone involved, the consequences were irreversible. Only difficult questions. Questions about trust, about control, and about how something so devastating could remain hidden for so long. If this case teaches us anything, it's that not all abuse leaves visible scars. Sometimes it hides behind care. Sometimes it hides behind sympathy. And sometimes it's hidden in plain sight. If you enjoy true crime documentaries and real-life stories, subscribe to The Reveal for more.